Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Derry review. We're going to talk about episodes 1 and 2 because episode 2 dropped today, especially on HBO Max because of Halloween. So happy Halloween, of course. Make sure you hit that like button and the subscribe button as we're going to start making some videos here on the channel again. Sorry if the production value is not up to snuff. It's going to take me a little bit to get back into the hang of things, work out the lighting issues and whatnot, but we're here to talk about it, so let's get to it. Hi, see what I did there? We're going to talk about episode 1 first, and I just want to say the opening of this series is wild, like truly wild. I don't think I've ever seen a show open like this before. Total, like, gruesome, bloody, vile stuff. And it really sets the mood right away that this show means business. It's going to be scary. It's going to be dark. And of course, we are set in 1962. We immediately get introduced to a new cast of characters that some we are a little familiar with, like what's his name? Leroy, I think his name is Hanlon, which is Mike's grandfather. We see him in it chapter 1. He's obviously older in that than he is here, and I saw a lot of people saying that it was Mike's dad. I was like, well, that wouldn't make any sense timeline wise, and of course by episode 2 you know that I was right, and people on the internet are stupid and can't do math. And I'm one of those people, but when it comes to movies, my math skills show out greatly, and I really like Leroy so far. We'll talk about him more in episode 2, and we also get introduced to, I think his name's Phil Uris, which would be a relative of Stanley's. I don't know that relation, because I don't know if it's an older, like a great cousin or a great uncle or something like that, but it's a family member of Stanley's from it, of course. So we'll talk about more at towards the end of this, but of course this Uris does not make it either. It's a bad last name to have in the It universe. And then of course we got some Easter eggs in this from director Andy Muschietti. Of course, first we see a Flash comic book at the Uris household, and he is the director of the Flash movie, however you feel about that. I'm not the biggest fan of that film, but it was still cool to see him kind of show some love for that. And then you see Uris reading a Batman comic book, which is also an Easter egg because Andy Muschietti's next project is Batman the Brave and the Bold. At least at this point it is. We'll see if he stays on that project or not. But that was cool to kind of see him tying in, and of course that's also with Warner Brothers. So, and I'm always down to see some cool comic books. And it was funny that he was reading the first appearance of Clayface because the anniversary of that issue was the day that this episode came out. So that was really cool, and I wonder if that timing was a coincidence or not. And just as the beginning was crazy, so was the ending, because all these kids that we meet throughout this episode, the Uris, we meet, what was the other kid's name? I can't remember. He kind of reminded me of, loudmouth Richie Tozier, but there was no relation. His little sister, and they're all at the movie theater, and it goes down. It goes down big time. Of course, they're looking for their friend that disappeared at the beginning of the episode 3 months ago, I believe it was. And then, they get disappeared too, more or less, because they get ripped to shreds by the same creature that was born at the beginning of the episode. They get ripped and torn to shreds. Even little Susie. I was like, man, those big kids getting killed sucks. But if Susie goes down, I'm going to be real upset, because Susie's cute, man. She reminds me of Georgie from It Chapter 1. And, she did not survive. She did very much not survive. There was, one survivor plus an add-on, kind of, because she didn't really see what was going on. So those characters will lead into episode 2 and kind of carry on the torch, because the rest of the, whatever you want to call them, this version of the Losers Club no longer survived, and that was kind of shocking, because I was like, okay, these are the kids, this is going to be our cast and crew moving forward to face, it, and they were not. They were definitely not. And that is the ending of episode 1, leading us right into an also crazy episode 2. If my phone doesn't start cooperating with me, I'm going to throw it through the camera, so be ready to catch. This episode, right off the bat, we get introduced to another kid, Will Hanlon, Leroy's son, and of course this guy will go on to be Mike's father. So we know this kid is safe for now. We know he does die, mysteriously in the future, but I assume throughout this show he will be fine, unless they're really going to mess with some timeline shenanigans, but I don't believe they're going to do that. So Will Hanlon, and I'd like to say, this kid actor, the one that's playing Will, I think is my favorite kid actor in this show. I think he's charming. I think he's got it. No pun intended. He's got the charisma that some of the other kids sometimes when they're acting, I'm like, it comes and goes for them. But this Will Hanlon actor is pretty damn good. And I would like to put out a suggestion, because we get some time at the school in this episode, and we get fully introduced to the patty cakes. Please God, it, or Pennywise, whatever you want to call them, eat them next. Especially, I called her Gum Girl in my notes. She was driving me nuts, man, talking with her mouth. She's like, oh yeah, do this. Like, please call her into the sewer and rip her to pieces in the next episode, because I don't know how much more of Gum Girl I can stand. She's even grosser than the monster that ripped the kids apart in episode 1. Speaking of monsters, we got some really cool ones in this episode as well. We got what I call the mom monster, who comes after, what's her dad's name is Harold, I think. What's the daughter's name? I just watched this episode 5 minutes ago. Why can't I think of the daughter's name? I can't. I'm drawing blanks. I can't think of her name, but you know who I'm talking about. The black girl that survived in the first episode. You know who I'm talking about. Her mom died giving childbirth, I suppose, and that, it uses that against her and does some creepy ass, scare stuff. And oh my god, it was creepy, man. Like, the special effects, I don't know if they were CGI, practical, a mix of both, but they looked great. They were creepy as hell. The umbilical cord trying to drag her back so she could get eaten. Like, scary stuff for sure. And that's one thing I want to say. So far, 2 episodes in, I think this show is actually scarier than the 2 It movies. I love those movies, especially the first one, and they have some good scares in them as well. But this show, just the way they make things look, man, it looks creepy as hell, and I love it. Of course, in this episode, we get more Dick Hallorann, of course, legendary Stephen King character from the Shining books. And I think that's, as a Stephen King nerd, I think that's really cool to see him kind of tied into this whole thing. Are we going to get to see Dick Hallorann use the sight to somehow battle it? It seems like we might be heading somewhat in that direction by the end of this episode, so we'll have to see. But I do like the actor they cast as Dick. I've seen him in a lot of other supporting roles as well, and he's always really, really good. Another monster we got, I call him Pickle Man, because of course we know that the main girl, her father died in like a pickle factory and like got, cut to pieces in the gears, because we hear the urban legend that you can find his pieces in pickle jars around town and stuff. And they kind of use that in this episode, and she's shopping and all the pickles start to turn into her dad, and it's going crazy and it looks disgusting, but it looks really cool in the same way. And Andy Muschietti, nice try, man. I don't know who you're working for at Big Pickle, but you won't get me. I still love pickles. That scene was gross and awesome, but I still like me some pickles. And yeah, like I said with the mom monster, great special effects, great scary stuff. Love it. Don't know who's doing the special effects for this show, but keep it up, man. You're doing great. And then of course we get the whole first 2 episodes. I was like, I get it. Like Leroy Hanlon. We need him to introduce Will and all that stuff and tie it into the movies. But I was like, and Dick Hallorann's in the military storyline as well. But I was like, what's the whole point of this like Air Force military storyline? I was like, let's get to the kids. I want to see the kids being scared and, it going after kids. This episode, we kind of start peeling back the onion on what these military storylines are leading to. And it seems like they're using Dick Hallorann's sight. They don't quite know what his power is yet. And it seems like they're looking for it. Like, they don't know they're looking for it. They think they're looking for some sort of fear-inducing weapon that they don't know what it is. But I would assume it's it. And I would assume they're going to be, like, the reason that it gets, like, fully unleashed. Like, it's powerful now, but I think they're going to be the reason it gets fully re-emerged this 27-year period. So that's interesting. Yeah, I'm glad they started showing us why the Air Force thing is so prominent, because I was starting to question that myself. And I love James Remar. Like, I love him being in the show. I didn't watch any trailers for the show because I knew I was going to watch it anyway. So I did not know he was in the show. And in the first episode, he was a very pleasant surprise. And he gets more to do in this episode. So that's very cool. And I would just like to say, I think they do say something like this in the It book. Maybe It is so attracted to Derry because it's like a reflection of their own evil. Because this town sucks, man. Like, I know it's the 60s, but holy hell, like 95% of the town is uber racist. Like, he's doing some dark stuff to get their agendas over, including councilmen, including the sheriff, who turns out is Henry Bowers, I assume, grandfather, and we know he's a piece of work. So just interesting stuff to think of as we continue down the road of it. Welcome to Derry. What did you think of these first 2 episodes? Did you like them? Did you love them? Do you hate them? Do you think the show looks like ass? And I'm crazy because I really like this show so far, possibly even more scarier than the movies themselves. Let me know what you think's going to happen. I mean, we know what happens overall, but what do you think the different characters are going to do? What do you think Dick Halloran ends up doing in this universe? I would like to know your thoughts on that. Again, sorry if the production value on the video is not up to snuff. I'll work on it. We'll get it up to snuff in due time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys right here next time.